Hello, everyone. This is Write Your First Book with Mahlena, and I'm Mahlena Ray Johnson. So today we're talking about the hardest part about writing a book is, and the hardest part about publishing a book is. So first, if you are here on this video, or if you're here, I'm on this video, but if you're watching this video, then I will tell you that the first thing that you need to do is start writing now. So if you have a pen and a piece of paper or a pencil and a notebook, write it down. Or if you have your phone, then type your notes on your phone about your book. Or if you're watching this video on your computer, then type as you are watching this video. Second, I'm Mahlena Ray Johnson. In case you missed when I said it the first time, I went to Loyola Marymount University for film production, and then I went to the University of Southern California for my MBA in marketing, entertainment, and entrepreneurship. And I wrote 3 books, and I'm working on my 4th one. Love it a luau. So I am immensely qualified to help you write your first book. Now, let's get into today's topic. The hardest part about writing a book is, the hardest part about publishing a book is. So first, the hardest part about writing a book is starting. Most people don't know where to start. They have this idea that you're just going to write a book and I don't know what happens next. And the challenge that I have found in my months of research this year is that people expect that writing a book is the same as publishing a book or having a book published more precisely. So I liken it to thinking that you want to be an actor and you want to act and you think that you should be Angela Bassett on your first day of acting. That somehow acting is equal to Angela Bassett, who has been in the business for decades now, has multiple awards, but also has had training to be an actor, has had lots of experience being an actor. You do not need to compare yourself to Angela Bassett if you have just decided to start acting this year or 2 years ago or 10 years ago. You shouldn't compare yourself to a accomplished actor if you just start acting. And similarly, if you have an idea to start writing, don't compare yourself to someone who has published a book or multiple books. You don't need to be Stephen King. You don't need to be James Patterson. You don't need to be Maya Angelou or Toni Morrison. These people not only have had experience writing for a long time, they also have whole corporations behind them. Well, Maya Angelou has passed on, but her books now that have come out, they're out. So those are the ones that you have seen. You don't get to see the stuff that Maya Angelou wrote that maybe her publisher didn't feel like putting out. You don't get to see the stuff that Toni Morrison scribbled in her journal one time and then said, I have to do better. We're going to write again, and then we're going to write again, and then we're going to write again. You don't get to see that. You get to see the finished product. So you should not be comparing yourself to that finished product. You should be thinking about how you can write the best book that you can write. Again, the hardest part about writing a book is starting, and don't think about trying to get to the level of people whose books are published. You need to focus on starting writing now. Then the second thing is, the hardest part about publishing a book is finishing. So let's say that you've already started the process of writing and you're like, I don't care what Stephen King does. I'm going to write my book because it's awesome. And I'm just going to keep writing and keep writing and keep writing. And then it's 3 years later, you have written all this stuff down, but no one else can access it because you haven't made it into a book. So there is a huge difference between writing a book, which is great, and publishing a book, which is also great. Those are two related concepts, but they are also separate. Publishing a book means that you have to finish that book. You have to stop writing, more to the point. The book doesn't have to be finished in your mind, but you have to come to a conclusion and put that book out there so that people can read it. If no one can read your book, then no, not if no one can read your book. If no one can access your book, so if no one can figure out where your book is available, if no one can go and get it and actually turn the pages or swipe the pages or have it read to them in their ears or feel it on the page, then you haven't published a book. So publishing a book is very different than writing a book, because publishing involves finishing the book. It also involves a lot of other steps after you've completed the manuscript. But I want to emphasize that if you want to be a published author, you have to stop writing at some point and move into the publishing phase of being confident enough to let your words that you have written down and have edited and put together in a way that you think is satisfactory, and let that book go out to the world. Whether anyone buys it is a different story, but people will. People are waiting for your book, so you need to finish it. So the first thing that I want to emphasize is the hardest part about writing a book is starting. The hardest part about publishing a book is finishing. Now I'll give you my personal example. Okay, so let's see. The hardest part about writing a book. For me, I'm writing my 4th book, Love It a Luau. And the hardest part about writing this book for me this year, which is 2017, has been focusing on just this book. So there are lots of people who say that I haven't written a book because I don't have time. I haven't written a book because I don't know how. I haven't written a book because I don't know how to organize it. I don't know how to get from idea to publish. And from idea to publish is my coaching program that I'm developing, and you'll hear more about that in posts and my upcoming event later. So the hardest part for me about writing Love It a Luau is that I have so many ideas around the people in this universe. I mentioned before in a previous video that I was writing a parallel screenplay to Love It a Luau this year. And I had to stop that because I really did not have enough time to get everything done. But it was also taking away focus from my book. So there are only so many things that you can focus on as a human being. As P. Diddy Brother Love says, we all only have 24 hours in a day. However, Mr. Diddy has a whole staff and a whole fleet of people, not only working his business, but raising his children. So yeah, I'm sure he has 24 hours in a day, but we don't necessarily have those same resources to have someone to cook for him, possibly clean his house, clean his laundry, clean him. He could hire someone to clean him so he wouldn't have to go through that work. And again, for many of you out there who are moms, he has someone else raising his children. So there is only so much time that you have, and there are only so many things that you can prioritize. And for me, I prioritize this book over finishing that screenplay. I also prioritized it over starting another series of books called The Best of Everything, which really spoke to me because they are the stories about 4 girls who are geniuses and orphans in the foster care system who go through the process of middle school and high school and end up graduating. So that really spoke to me as someone who wanted to write about little girl geniuses, but I don't have time to prioritize everything. I can't prioritize everything that I want to write. Also, I'm not writing PTA Rumble, which is a series that I came up with speaking to me as a parent. It's about parents who all have careers and are all active members of their school's PTA. I don't have time to write that either. I picked the thing that made me the happiest right now writing and wanting to complete, which is Love It a Luau. The hardest part about publishing this book is finishing this book. So there are 55 chapters. I am on chapter 23 right now in the first draft, and it does take time to produce the quality that I want in this book. And even though I thought initially I'm going to make a romance novel and I'm going to write through it as quickly as possible, there are still parts of it that I want to get right. There are parts that I want to make sure are authentic, and I included Hawaiian slang and Hawaiian culture in the book because the island that it takes place on is 3 hours south of Hawaii by boat. There are aspects of PTSD that I wanted to make sure were included that were humorous but also honest to someone who has gone through the situation. There's characters that I want to make sure are developed in the way that makes sense for them, and there are a lot of things that I have to let go, like I can't spend so much time filling up a whole chapter because there are 55 of them. They can't all be 20 pages long, and it doesn't make sense for that. So a lot of it is adjusting to what makes sense for the book. So if you are in the stage of I'm writing, but I haven't published, think about when you want to publish it by, and then continue moving forward to publishing the book, not just thinking about the process of writing a book. All right, so if you have any questions about writing a book or publishing a book, please leave me a comment right here. You can also email me at writeyourfirstbook@gmail.com. And if you want to work with me, or you have ideas of actually starting writing your book or starting the publishing process, please email me and we can have a session together where we figure out where you want to go and the best strategy for you to take to write and publish your first book. Again, if you want to have a strategy session with me, please email me at writeyourfirstbookWithMahlena@gmail.com, or comment right here and say, hey, that's what I want to do. All right, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.